My feeling is that video games are the next medium to start telling stories.
A lot of times when you're making a game, you do the story last.
But we've completely changed. We said the story is really important, start from the beginning, and that will inform the different objectives and routes that the character will take.
And we are constantly refining the story to make sure that it's actually revealed in a way that you're interested in watching and at the right points.
I hope that the story is compelling enough that it will make them stop because they're afraid to go on without knowing more about what it is you're going to encounter.
Well, Dead Space takes place on a ship called the Ishimura.
The Ishimura is sort of our haunted house. It's the place that you get trapped inside, and you know all the horrible things happen to you, and you're fighting to find your way out of it.
The setting is really dark and foreboding in just the best of times, so it makes for a great opportunity to make the player scared all the time.
The future that we're describing is one where there's enormous resource constraint. Basically, mining and getting resources for Earth or for other inhabited planets has become incredibly difficult.
And what they do is they go out to big planets that are deep, deep out in space, and they mine the whole entire planet. They just rip it to pieces.
And once we had that image of like this planet being ripped apart, we thought, well, what if you ripped apart a planet and there was something inside it?
Creating a rich backstory is important because it gives you the grapples to make it real for people. Otherwise, everything becomes just a 2D cardboard cutout of some kind of cliche stereotype, and it's not really entertaining at that point because everyone's kind of seen all that already.
I mean, we spent so much time on who is Isaac Clarke. We've delved into his history with, well, his parents are divorced and he hasn't seen his dad in 12 years, and his mom joined this religious group, and the same thing with all the other characters. And the more that you know about the characters, the more that you're informed on what they would do in a certain situation.
You get sort of the grand story, and you get to be the guy that finishes it, goes through with your own little personal story and learns about everybody else's, and they all kind of wrap together in the end.
The story unfolds in the game to you just as it does to Isaac.
Either you're getting your story through video logs or through events that are happening right in front of you.
It's really key to immersion because you don't have anything interrupting the player's experience on the controller.
It's really important for us to keep the story grounded because this is a horror story. This isn't Star Wars, this isn't space fantasy.
Because science fiction sort of works against horror, like they sort of fight each other, and you really have to keep the science fiction thing in check if you want the horror to come out.
I think the story of Dead Space is powerful because of its intensity and because of its realism. And I think you don't see that in games a lot.
Right from the beginning, we wanted to make a really good story. We wanted to make a very, very strong story. And that's because that's the kind of game that we want to play.